time, isn't it? I didn't think that this day would really come. Honestly, looking back at the start, it seemed like somewhat of an uphill battle, and that's what it is. That's what it is. As some of you may or may not have known, I lost £40. It's now closer to £50 at time of recording. It's actually at the time of recording about a month after the 100 days had finished. And still going strong, still lost a little bit, more. I've lost about £10 on top of that. As I said, closer to £50 now. But here it's basically a video, and I don't know the structure of this. I don't know if it's going to be like an ultra sort of interactive, or if I'll put some footage on the screen of like some of the bits that I implemented throughout the experience and whatnot. But if you're watching this, I'm assuming you yourself are either interested on, how to lose weight, how to get yourself to a point where you get out of the rut, because for the most part, that is exactly what I found myself in. Now, disclaimer, I am by no means a professional in this field. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a personal trainer. So this is purely me giving you my experience, my tips, my tricks, and everything in between, in order to finally get out of that rut, is basically what I'm going to try and get you to well, I'm going to try and tell you how I got out of my rut. So with that said, let's get on with it. Now, I've categorized each section into a heading, and we're going to go through each individual one. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 categories. Now, bear with me. Stick with me here. Don't lose interest. I can guarantee you this will work if you stick with it. First off, we have the game plan. Now, for me, that involves setting a realistic goal. Now, I won't lie to you. I've always been relatively in shape, relatively. I guess, for lack of a better term, political correctness, I've never been fat. I've never been out of shape. The only time that I have been is during the pandemic, and more recently, getting into a relationship over the last few years, enjoying food, having a good time, going out, and ultimately letting it go a little bit too far, and as a result, finding myself in the position to have to try and rectify that. So setting a realistic goal for me was figuring out what my original weight was, what my ideal weight was. Now, for me, £40 seems like a lot, and give or take, it was more or less about £2 per week, which is at the most, like the top end of weight loss that you should be doing per week. But it was just about. I think the app that I used, NutriCheck, again, please do download that. It has been a massive help. That's one of 2 apps that I'm going to get you to download. But again, set a realistic goal, not just a number on the scale, but also a routine, quitting drinking, smoking, going out all the time. It is going to have to be cut down for 100 days. That's all I'm telling you to do. And it might seem a long time at first, but it picks up the pace. Once you get into that stride, it's sailing. It's smooth sailing. Next is pick what you like. Pick something, anything, whatever that may be, in order to make the experience more enjoyable. And it will, one thing a day to just look forward to, whatever that may be, whether it's a treat. If you can incorporate that sort of thing into your calories, you've got a bit of chocolate to look forward to. You've got, whatever. It's got to be within reason, obviously. Don't rush anything. There's plenty of time. 100 days is a long time. It's over 3 months, and you can get a hell of a lot achieved in that time. So just start slow. Work yourself into it. And my tip, which was one of my tips at the end, one of my tips is don't look at it as if it's a diet. Don't look at it look at it more so as if it's what you want to become the normal routine. Now, obviously, once you get to the weight you want to be, you're going to have to get maintenance weight up and everything, and eat a little bit more. But for the most part, just work on making whatever you are doing during this process the new you, the new routine. Don't look at it every day as, oh, I'm on a diet. Don't tell everyone, oh, I'm on a diet, because then your brain works it out as, oh, I'm on a diet. This isn't forever, you know? And whilst the calorie deficit part of things is obviously not forever, the overall message you're telling yourself is, this is it now. This is the new me. I'm making a new routine for myself. Part of that routine, if you can, I'm understanding that you know a lot of people won't have this available to them, but get someone else involved who you can hold accountable, whether that be a relative, the missus, the husband, your best mate, your golfing buddy, whoever, your drinking buddy. A lot of people, myself included, for the most part, I don't see some of, if not all of my mates, unless we're going to the pub, which, if you can get one of those people to join you on that experience and hold each other, accountable, it's going to make it a lot easier, a lot easier. And lastly, on game plan, don't stress out. It's going to be all right. Slow and steady. The difference between day 0 to day 100 will always be night and day, as long as you don't stress out and you just get there in the end. That's it. Next up is setting up a routine, and obviously we worked out some of the stuff. You know, part of what you pick what you like. Setting a realistic goal. All of those things tie into setting up a routine. They're all part of the routine. The first part of setting up a routine in this category is trust that if you are consistent with all of this, it will work, and I am proof of that. 222 pounds at my heaviest I've ever been at the start of all of this. And I now, obviously 40 pounds less than that. It was like 180 something, 182. I now sit 177. Work that out. I'll put it on the screen, I guess, just to show you the conversion if you're doing stone or kilos. But it's a fuckload. it's a lot of weight. It's a lot of weight. And, you know, it was tough, but it was also, by the end, it was enjoyable. It really was. And it was because I made a routine. Take each day as it comes, but take each week as a victory. No matter how small the loss, there will be times with weight, water weight, with fluctuations, with, you know, hormones, whatever it is, on a day-to-day basis. You might absolutely smash it out of the park and go for a 10,000 step day and go to the gym and all that. But just know, if you're overly exerting yourself, the water weight's going to go up. So you might exercise out the wazoo on one day and do your calories, maybe even undereat a little day. I wouldn't recommend that, but I'm just saying. And you think, oh, I'm going to wake up feeling absolutely fantastic tomorrow. I'm going to have an all-time low on the scale. And then you get on and it's quite the opposite. It's quite the opposite. And the reason for that, water weight is a bastard, but it's something that can be easily rectified, easily dealt with. And over time, once your body gets used to the routine that you're in, it subsides and it just goes away. So yeah, find something to do every single day that you enjoy to create a routine in your mind, whether that's an ice bath for me. If you want to go on a run, go on a run. If you want to go on a walk, go on a walk, hike, whatever. Do something, just anything. If you're sedentary and you're doing fuck all day these days anyway, go in for a walk around the block, and then next week you go a little bit further, and then the week after that you go a little bit further than that, and then by the day 100, I'm not saying you're going to be fucking Mo Farah, but it's going to be better than what you are at the moment. Let's be honest. Again, same for me. It's all about just creating a routine, something you're going to enjoy, and obviously there's going to be times where you're like, I just want to take away, and I hate to say it to you, it's probably not going to be happening for you. But we'll get to that in the next category. And the reason for that is it's diet. the most fundamental, important thing alongside consistency, which again we'll get into in just a second. But top of the list when it comes to diet is log everything. Absolutely everything. Absolutely nothing goes untracked. Track all your calories. I'll put it on the screen here. NutraCheck Calorie Counter. It is a calorie counting app. When you come to cook, log everything in. You can create meals where you make the recipe and you add all the ingredients, and you're probably thinking, that sounds hard. It's a bit tedious. Grow up. It's not hard. I'm not trying to sound condescending, but goodness me, calories matter. They really do. Even 50 calories can be the difference between losing and gaining. And I'm not trying to. A lot of people. There's this misconception that if you track your calories, you've got an eating disorder, or you've got a bad relationship with food because it's not that deep, and you shouldn't. It is when you're losing weight. It is when you're losing weight. So you should be counting your calories. Absolutely everything. Do you know what is unhealthy? Is not tracking your calories and just eating everything in sight and just calories through the roof. And when you start counting your calories, you start to realize you were eating way more than you could have ever imagined that you were. So count every single fucking calorie that you can. All right. With that said, stick to calorie amounts every single day, no matter what. I'm 6 foot tall. I weighed 222 pounds. I started at 2,000 calories and found that was just a little bit too much for what I was doing. So I dropped it by 250. So for practically the entire time, I was on 1,750 calories. Now, everyone's going to be different. If you go onto Calorie Counter, or I think it's like calories.net or something, I'll put the link on the on the video so you can see. But you can work out more or less, and you're all sedentary. It's very likely that you're all sedentary, which means that you sit office job, or you're on your ass doing, I'm not trying to sound rude. I'm only saying it from my perspective, I'm talking from what I was. Do you know what I'm saying? I work an office job. I sit on my ass all day. Even if I go to the gym every day, I'm not active. I'm not lightly active. I am sedentary because I sit on my ass 8 hours a day. Do you know what I mean? So stick to a calorie amount every single day. You don't have to eat the same thing every day. I'm not telling you to eat rice and chicken and broccoli, but you need to have some sort of structure. And the main thing is, don't rush into anything in particular, especially cheat days, as that will stunt your progress. If all you're looking forward to is your cheat day at the end of the week, it's just going to spiral. The best advice I can give to you regarding cheat days is don't have them. Do not have them. There's no need. There's no need. You can eat really good food. You can eat really, really good food and still fit in with your calories. As long as you know what you're doing, in time, you'll generate a routine. Again, all about routine, all about consistency. It works hand in hand. It really does, which goes on to the next bit. Get creative in the kitchen. Fakeaways, not takeaways. Fakeaways. If you're fairly addicted to takeaways or fast food, as I was, and I still am. I still like me, Chinese and McDonald's and all that sort of stuff. But use this time to get good at recreating your favorite takeaways. You will master it by the end of the experience. 100 days is a long fucking time. All right. Our favorite thing. It's not necessarily, I don't really like Nando's that much, but the missus, very, very good at making a butterfly chicken, sort of garlic bread, Nando's burger. You've got your halloumi in it. You've got your Nando's chili jam and your ciabatta with some lower calorie garlic butter, and you can make it better than they make it. I guarantee you, if you just work on it. Work on your culinary experience and your skills and all that, and I tell you, part of that is a lot of the enjoyment of it as well. Is mastering a craft in the kitchen. You will look back at takeaway food and think it all tastes like absolute ass. A lot of it, it's not good. Takeaways haven't been good for years now. So get out of the routine of that. Work on a few little bits here and there to improve what you thought was good takeaway food and make it yourself. And I don't want to hear any excuses of, no, it's not the same. That you can buy every ingredient that there is that these fuckers use in their food. Nando's being one of them. One of the easiest things to recreate because all of their ingredients are available anyway. Anyway, fad diets as well. OMADs, 1 meal a day. Keto, ketogenic diet, carnivore, meat only, etc. are not sustainable long term, but can produce great short-term results. So if you're getting a little bit bored of what you are currently doing, say you're a month in, month and a half, I will say by that time you should be really enjoying it if you're doing well. But there are other diets that you can implement that will cause a bit of a stunt in your growth in a good way, that will help reduce inflammation and water weight. Ketogenic, low carb, all that stuff will help massively. I myself didn't really implement anything like that until the end, and that's what I'm currently on at the moment. I'm doing 1 meal a day. I'm on keto, low carb ish, not necessarily carnivore. I eat some carbs, maximum 30 grams of carbs a day. We're getting technical here, so stay with me. I would worry about that later on, but if you're interested, send me a message on the comments in here, and I will answer as best as I can. But in the interest of time, let's get into the last bit on diet, and that is implement those once you've established a routine and can see results. Do not go into this whole thing with a fad diet, trying to like streamline it or just like breeze through the first couple of weeks by, I'm gonna do fasting or I'm gonna do this and do that. If you're not someone who's done a lot of dieting in the past and been successful with it, might I add, don't worry so much about it. The main thing, and I'll end the diet section with this, the main thing you need to worry about is calories in, calories out. And I know a lot of people say that, oh, it doesn't work. It does. It does. As long as I'm getting angry now because I hear people say that calories in, calories out doesn't work and it's false and it's fake and it's bollocks. It's real. As long as you stick to a specific calories and you're tracking all your calories every single day. None of this, when you're cooking for other people and you're like, oh, a little bit of, a little bit of ham here, a little bit of, scoffing chef's privileges and all that. You have to track it. You have to track it. All those little things, they're going to cause a little bit of a thing. 500 calorie deficit, 250 calorie deficit. If you're snacking every day on little bits here and there and not tracking it, it's going to add up and you won't lose as much. And it's all for nothing. All of this hunger pain and everything like that. And it's just all for nothing. It's all for nothing. So track your calories, for God's sake. Next up is exercise. And this is a quick one because from my experience, do it or don't. It doesn't really matter that much. Diet is more important, especially in the early goings. And if you're ragging yourself silly on a treadmill, Stairmaster, weights, and exhausting yourself, you're more likely to struggle with the diet side as you'll be tired and cranky and you've just absolutely peppered the elliptical or whatever. And then you come back in, like, I can't be asked to cook now because I'm tired and don't do it. Go for a walk. Go on regular walks. Ideally, get into the routine of waking up early as you can. Get one done, out the way. Just go walk around the block, get a couple of miles under your belt, and then do another one in the evening when you've done your full day and you get to the end of the day and you think, I should probably exercise. Just go for a walk. Put a podcast in, listen to some music, walk the dog, go for a walk with the missus, whatever, whoever it is. Go on your own. It doesn't matter. Just go for a walk. As long as you're somewhat active. And I'm not going to try and spew this whole 10,000 steps thing because it's been proven to be, it's better than nothing. It's better than 0 steps, but don't worry so much as long as you're getting like at least a couple miles in a day, which I think 2.5 miles for me anyway is like 5,000 steps. So as long as you're doing something, you're getting your heart rate up somewhat, it's going to work. And the bigger you are, the more calories you're going to burn at the start, which is why you'll see like a huge spike if you're being active. Don't be too active because you'll knock yourself out. You'll be tired. You'll be cranky. Just work on your diet, implement more exercise as you go. I went to the gym in 100 days. I went to the gym 5 times during 100 days. And clearly that proves it isn't entirely necessary. But that doesn't mean that I sat on my ass all day and did nothing. I still went on the walks. I still did. But at the same time, sometimes I didn't go for a walk. I was lazy sometimes. And it didn't matter because the calorie deficit does all the work. That's all it does. Exercise just adds a couple hundred calories on top. That's all it does. It's not necessary. It really isn't necessary. The only people that need to exercise profusely and work out in the gym and all that are people that want to have, like, you know, a bodybuilder's physique. It really doesn't matter. It really does not matter. Find ways to make yourself somewhat uncomfortable is the next big thing that I would say. And a lot of you that would have watched the Harry Does 100 vlogs will know that that day, every day, would have included an ice bath. And what that does, when you think about what you've done, you'll be less likely to crash the diet side of things. Listen, ice bath for me, like I said, there was no way, and I didn't. I really didn't. I did not, as far as I remember, in the scheme of things, I don't think I cheated once. I think I maybe had one. I don't think I did. There was no way I was going to cheat on my diet after sitting in 3 degrees Celsius of water was the coldest it got once. There was no way I was doing that and then buying a McDonald's. Up next is consistency. This is the penultimate point before the end of the video. So I appreciate this has gone on for a while, but there's a lot to cover. There's a lot to cover. And I could go on longer, but I'm conscious of the time. Consistency is the most important thing alongside diet, of course, but consistency and diet hand in hand. That said, bad days, they come and go, but don't get put off the overall goal because of one bad day. If you go off the rails, and I strongly advise you don't, because it's worth it. It is worth it. And with the bad days, that doesn't mean get a takeaway. You're feeling a little, you know, anxious or down, and you're like, oh, it's not working. I might as well have a takeaway. Don't do it, dude. Don't do it to yourself. It's never worth it. Believe me, it's never worth it. So as I said, that doesn't mean get a takeaway when things are tough. You know, if it's tough, it's working. I personally made it part of the challenge for me. No alcohol, no takeaways in 100 days. And the sense of achievement after completing that was incredible. The first thing I got after the 100 days was a Papa John's. And it was the best pizza I've ever had in my fucking life. So just work towards that goal. And I can't put into words how strong the achievement was, how great it felt. Until you get yourself in that position and you earn it, you'll feel it. And it's incredible. And lastly, on consistency, don't worry the next day after a bad day. Unless you've had like 10,000 calories, then maybe you should feel a bit bad about yourself. But if you've gone like 500, 1,000 calories over, just keep doing the same thing you were the day before, right? Do not do what some people do and starve yourself the next day to counteract overeating. It's going to create a very negative relationship with food, bad eating habits, and your life will just become hell. It really will. And then you'll just spiral out of control because you'll be fasting the whole day. You'll be like, well, if I don't eat today, then maybe it doesn't count yesterday. And in some cases, it can help, but I wouldn't recommend it in any way, shape, or form because in reality, you'll get to the end of the day and you'll think, oh, a little bit of food today won't help. And then you just spiral out of control again. And then it's just downhill from there. And so the last point I'm going to give you is my dieting hacks. The things I did, the key moments, the key components that I brought into my dieting over the 100 days that I didn't necessarily do from the start, but now I'm looking back, I wish I did. And I also did, but I didn't do it the whole time, pretty much. Make the new routine normality, not a diet. Don't look at it as a diet. Look at it as, oh, this is just normal. Because once it becomes normal, you'll think, I can't remember why I got takeaways in the past. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where if you can make it feel normal quicker or as quick as possible, rather, it will make it a lot easier. Don't say no to foods you enjoy. If you want a pizza, have a pizza. If you want a Chinese, have a Chinese. If you want an Indian, have an Indian. The main part I'm trying to tell you here is find alternatives, lower calorie alternatives. And a lot of people will be like, it's not the same. Tough. Tough. If you want a pizza night, get a pizza, but find an appropriate alternative. Supermarket pizza. They're a lot better than these days than they were. And I would say get the stone baked, check the calories, make sure it's in with your thing, share it as well. You don't need a whole pizza to yourself. Share it. Have half. What you could do, have half, freeze the other half, have it tomorrow. Then you've got pizza 2 days in a row. Can you believe it? Next up, low calorie ice creams. Halo Top. Every supermarket does it now. Halo Top in particular, 350 odd calories for a whole tub of ice cream. If you are that way inclined and you're that desperate for ice cream, just know the water weight is going to shoot through the roof the day after because of your insulin and your the salt and all that sort of stuff. But if you're really struggling and you want some ice cream, it's a good alternative and it fucking tastes good. The gooey brownie one, it's so good. And then last but not least, I would suggest these two things from day one. In fact, get them before day one. Download the NutraCheck app if you're in the UK. Unfortunately, I don't think this is available worldwide. If not, do MyFitnessPal, but I don't really rate MyFitnessPal anymore. There's too many ads. NutraCheck calorie counter app is the GOAT. It is unbelievable. You can track everything. They have partnerships with most, if not all, fast food UK supermarkets. They've got every item you think of. If it's got a barcode, you click the barcode app button, take a picture of it, comes up with all the ingredients, all the nutritional values. You just type in how many grams you are consuming and then add the calories to the thing, and then it's a piece of piss. It really is. Last but not least, the Renpho app /scale. I've got a scale that's made by a company called Renpho. And I've used that for years now. I've had my one since about 2020. And it measures your body fat. It roughly measures your body fat, your subcutaneous fat, your visceral fat, your metabolic age. Are you 10 years older metabolic rate speaking, or are you me? I'm now 28, even though I'm 29 in reality. My metabolic age is 28 years old, so I'm a very healthy boy these days. I was 36 when I first started my diet, so I've come a long way. I've come a long way indeed. The main thing I would say after all of this is take it day by day. Don't stress yourself out. Don't put the pressures on it of all of it. And unfortunately, you are going to have less days out. If you're someone who's out and about a lot for social aspects of things, if it's for work, then you can't really do anything about it. But if you constantly go to the pub all the time, I don't think you're going to get anywhere if you're constantly doing. So you need to figure things out. If you're that desperate for a pint, look for the lower calorie stuff, like a Corona, a 330 ml bottle of Corona, 130 calories or something like that. So that's what I'm drinking at the moment, now that I can drink. But see how long you can go without drinking or takeaways and all that, and get an ice bath. It's not the time of season right now. I was doing it during the winter and through to now, and now I don't do it anymore because it's too hot and I can't really be asked to buy ice every single day, and ice is expensive. It's very expensive. But with that said, I hope I've covered everything. It's been about half an hour in terms of recording. I might chop this down a little bit, but I think that's everything. I think that's everything. I'm not necessarily saying you're going to lose 40 pounds in 100 days, but you'll be damn close if you stay as consistent as I was. And I can tell you now, not to sit on me high horse, I've absolutely smashed it out the fucking park. And believe me, I've tried dieting so many times before and I've failed. So if you do fail, it's not the end of the world. Don't feel bad for yourself. This is just everything I've done that's made it so that this is the moment where it's worked. I've worked my ass off. You can too. And I believe me when I say it's worth it. Being bigger, for me personally, I don't want to be, I want to stay politically correct on this, but from my perspective, Fat Harry way less enjoyable of a life. It's boiling hot. I'm not sweating every single place on my body. It's an absolute joy to be able to go outside and not just be pissing sweat everywhere just by walking up a staircase. It's the small things. It's the small wins in life. You will not regret it. I really fully believe that you will be so much happier for it. Obviously, weight and all that sort of stuff doesn't equate to happiness, but it's the same as wealth, I would say. If you got more money, you're a bit happier because you can do things that you couldn't do when you didn't have any money, if that makes sense. If you're fitter and able to do more things, like go on a walk without looking like you're going to die, I'd say that's a bit of a better life than what we were before, eh? So let me know your progress, and I'll see you in 100 days. Like the video, subscribe, all the best. My name is Harry Up, cheers, and peace.